Okay, drum turbo convection oven 101. Get yourself a $15 drum from Amazon, $2 carbon steel shaft, pin it, cut a groove in one end, square shaft in the other end, some kind of a vessel. I use a double stainless steel bowl. I don't think you need that, just an 11 quart deep stainless steel bowl would work. This is a 1/4 inch socket extension that the drum connects into, and you drop the other end into some sort of a wire saddle. If you use the glass bowl that comes with the convection oven, you can simply create a little framework that you can hang this thing on and plug the drive side into, like a bolt head or something like that. $20 gear motor, 30 RPM is what I chose. Just pinned with a cross-drilled socket to take the 1/4 inch drive, and a turbo convection oven head. I put it on here and start it up, set it to 465, load my beans, and first crack I'm going to turn it down to 400. Kevin's been developing process. I've been turning it to 445. I'm going for a lighter roast this time. Okay, pro tip: at the end of the roast, I leave it running with the beans inside, and I'll cool it off with a yard blower of some sort. That said, after it's cool to touch, I can grab it with my hand, and I put the top on and preheat and get ready for the next roast while I go measure out beans. Okay, it's showtime. I have 426 grams of green beans in the cage. Normally I roast 554 grams, but I only had 852. You can see the chamber's at 460, set to 465. We simply put the square socket or the square shaft in the square socket, hang the other end in the saddle. We can turn it on for a little test demo. Normally I just cover it up and restart the oven. So temperature dropped to 260. It'll bounce back up in the first minute. That's the most critical thing, is to have a timer and your development time lookup. So we'll observe the first crack time. We'll come across and we'll pull it at the 25% development time column. Kevin prefers the turbo convection oven chamber. You have to get some specialty drill bits and drill a hole at the level that your cage is rotating. And all you really need to do is fabricate a wire frame that lines up. So this is the way it lines up with the shaft, and let the cage rest here. As you can see, I used stainless carriage bolts and brass thread inserts to create a round shaft to rotate in these saddles. Makes it really easy to load into a gear motor and take the chamber out to cool down or reload. 5 minutes, the beans turned from green to yellow. I should clean this top, but I've gotten used to this. The visuals, your nose, your ears, and some kind of a temperature reference. This is chamber temperature, not bean temperature, are all you really need to have excellent results. For first crack, you see this 120 volt DC gear motor with a little inline switch, a socket cross-drilled and pinned to the shaft, 2 spacers to keep this from sliding into the drum. These are just available nuts. The chrome-plated socket drive shaft is perfectly food grade. Everything in the chamber is stainless or glass. The beans are roasting away. This process is pretty simple. At some point, my nose will tell me we've got crack pending. Note the time and just make a simple lookup. 8 minutes, you can see the beans have turned a nice light brown color, and I'm just waiting for the first crack. Things I've noticed is that the chamber does shoot up above my target temperature just prior to first crack, like the beans stop absorbing heat as they move into the crack phase. We're sitting on almost 9 minutes. Standing by. Right around 11 minutes, I heard first crack. This shot up to 475. So I'm going to turn it down to 420. As I said, 11 minutes. So if we follow 11 minutes over, it looks like we should pull this at 14 minutes 40 seconds. The chamber is cooled to about 400. It tells me this should finish around a city roast by turning the chamber back to 400. Magic. The oven's right around 420. We're going to pull this in 20 seconds or shut the cooking off by cooling it down with a blower. Okay. Time to stop the cooking. Alright, that's about 90 seconds of cooling. Finally, 550 gram batches need that. Smaller batch probably could have stopped after a minute. Let's take a look at what's in here. Very nice, Honduran. Okay, chamber's hot enough, around 430. I have another 427 grams of beans to roast. What I like about this is usually the back-to-back roasts are identical. Same climate, same beans, same weight. So this will probably hit the crack around 11 minutes and get pulled at 14 minutes 40 seconds. Get this thing rolling. What could be simpler, right? Again, square shaft into the socket extension, the other end into the nest. Cap it up, turn it on. Start the rotation and the timer. I'll come back in about 10 minutes and monitor. These turbo convection ovens are great because they mix the air. They're about 1500 watts, but it's all contained in the chamber. None of it, very little bleeds out, just a touch of smoke. They're very easy to pick up on Facebook Marketplace for anywhere between $10 and $30. Often never even used, new in the box. We're waiting for first crack here. You can see that what Kevin uses is the glass bowl that comes with your turbo convection ovens. Some are analog and some are digital. Use some special drill bits to cross drill. And then what I did was I used these carriage bolts, which have a square shaft, quarter by quarter, and quarter 20 thread. I use some quarter 20 inserts, and I'll clamp these between stainless washers and nuts so that they ride in the saddle. Fairly smooth rotation. And then you'd use a 7/16 socket on this end to drive the cage. Quite simple, great visibility of the beans. I just find the chamber volume's a little big. I like the more compact chamber volume that this dual bowl option gives me. If I take time to clean the glass, I have just enough visibility to bean color changes. Alright, 10:55, I heard the first crack. Real hard to hear with the noise of the shaft here. But it is audible, so we're going to go with the same 11-minute time, pull it at 14 minutes 40 seconds. So I'll cite the first batch. Turned it down after the first crack to 400 degrees, and we're right out to the 25% development time. Kevin has been real intense on developing techniques, and I learn from him every time I read what he writes. So you can figure out how to make one from my stuff and read what he writes. Hear the crack, see a little smoke. Eyes, ears, nose, and watch. That's all you really need. Thermometer is nice. Come up with things. Make repeatable coffee time and time again. Super delicious, super low tech. This is really an offshoot of the stir crazy turbo convection roaster that was very popular circa 2006, 2008. I found it to be limited to 200 grams and I just couldn't keep up. I need about 2 to 2.5 pounds a week. So with this combination, unless I'm roasting very dark, you can start with 557 grams of green beans and always end up with a pound of roasted coffee. Give it a try. They're handy. 1440. Stop. And stop. Okay, stop cooling. About 1 minute and 10 seconds. That's warmer, but still cool enough to touch. The ideal thing about cooling in place is you end the roasting. Very timely way. Makes for more repeatable results. Enjoy this process if you give it a try. Kevin, thanks for all the technique suggestions, and looks like I've been successful at creating a lighter roast, which has eluded me. I appreciate all you're doing for drum turbo convection roasting. Thanks.